Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of What Ifs, and I am back here with another video. Today we'll be doing what if Naruto was a speedster. Sorry I haven't posted this one in a while, but honestly it hasn't been that long because, well, my schedule is much more free now so I can post more. And yeah, I'm very thankful for summer, like seriously. Thank you so much. Anyway, now we're gonna get into the actual topic of this, you know, fucking video, which is the what if. Things might go a little bit different than you expected. I'm going to be going a little crazy with Naruto's powers, but to be honest, chakra combined with the speed force energy and, you know, chakra manipulation, people already being used to manipulate a certain type of energy, this makes Naruto way stronger. So expect them to do some pretty crazy shit that I will explain on, you know, later on. But it is gonna be crazy. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, we last started off with Kid Naruto getting his speedster powers, which then let him graduate the academy early and join the Anbu. Became quite strong and was an awesome Anbu member, but Hiruzen had another job for him. He joined Team 7 with his old rival and one of his best friends, Naruto I mean. And they got closer as a team, and then they fought Zabuza and Haku with the Land of the Waves, with Naruto killing them both, making Shikamaru and Sasuke more motivated. Probably because Shikamaru realized that Naruto was actually smarter than he let on, and Sasuke wanted to catch up with Naruto as he still had to get stronger to kill a certain someone. Shikamaru would learn Taijutsu as Sasuke activates his Sharingan and is a much better fighter, and after finishing their mission, and after Naruto did some work behind the scenes, they returned to Konoha. Now we're in the Hokage's office. Kakashi would stand in front of an interested Hiruzen who would ask, "So, how was he?" I can't describe it. Saying this, Kakashi would have a flashback to when he saw Naruto appear next to Zabuza. In that instant, Zabuza's body was riddled with so many holes and scratches and cuts that he just couldn't believe what had just happened. Kakashi then snaps out of it saying this is the report of how he acted during the mission. Overall, he's a great addition to the team. He's very supportive. He hands a scroll to Hiruzen who puts it down, asking Kakashi if he thinks that they're ready for the Chunin exams. Now as he ponders this, we cut to them, the team meeting, and it's been about 3 days since they returned. "You showed up on time for once. Is this a special day?" asked Sasuke. "I'm still a jonin, you know," says Kakashi. "Come on, let's get on with today's mission." They would then actually leave the village, having another C-rank mission since they did so well on the last one, and they helped out another piece of land surrounding the leaf from rogue high-level ninja, and they completed this, returning back to Konoha just as night fell. Now, as they re-entered the village, Naruto and the team went to Ichiraku Ramen, and that includes Kakashi, and after they ate, they started going their separate ways. However, as Naruto was walking, he would feel a presence and look in the shadows, saying, "So Tenzo, how goes it? We're being called to a meeting, Naruto, so get ready and follow me." Now, as he heard this, Naruto would be excited as he starts spinning around until he stopped and he was wearing his Anbu suit. "Come on," says Tenzo. The two would then head off and meet up with Danzo and Hiruzen, who would then inform them of the chance that Orochimaru may be attacking, so their mission was to fan out and keep an eye on everything. Everyone would have their own sector, and Naruto's was anywhere near the upcoming Chunin exams, so this was perfect for him because he was actually going to it. So next day, when Team 7 meets up, Kakashi would let them know about the exams, and they don't hesitate to say they definitely want to participate. Kakashi would then still test them, but they pass easily, and then they go home for the day. Now we cut to Shikamaru as he's walking home. "So we have a week to train? This is gonna be such a drag, but those two definitely won't let me laze around, huh?" He would then make it home, taking off his shoes as he enters, seeing his dad playing shogi against himself. "How was it today?" asked Shikaku. "You know, a drag, as usual," answered Shikamaru. Shikaku would then look at his son, who, however, had a huge smile on his face when he said this, and he thought, "At least learn to hide your emotions a bit, my boy." Now, as he lays down a shogi piece, we're going to do a little time skip to when 3 days passed. Team 7 had been training pretty intensely and had just went to a nearby steakhouse, and on the way, they actually met Team 10, with Ino Sakura, you know, started to fangirl over Sasuke. However, Choji, Shikamaru, and Naruto were so happy to see each other that they actually start crying uncontrollably, and the two teams would talk about their missions as they're eating, you know, and how things have been, and Choji actually wishes, you know, he actually wishes Team 4 were allowed because he hates being with Ino and Sakura sometimes because all they do is fight. "Shut up, Choji," yells Sakura. She then went to punch him in a rage when Naruto grabs her hand as his other one was feeding him meat with his chopsticks. "Don't ever touch Choji," and he's right. You two need to get your shit together. Besides, you're causing a bit of a scene. She then looks around to see that everyone is actually staring at her, and she's very, they think she's very gorilla-like. And Naruto would then let go of her hand as she sits down embarrassed, and Ino kind of laughs, saying, well, I just can't get along with Sakura. And you're right, Choji has to suffer for it sometimes, and even Asuma-sensei tells us that sometimes, but what are we supposed to do? Sasuke would then talk, saying, if you don't get it together, next time you go on a mission, Choji might die because of you. Because you didn't want to just forget about your petty squabbles. We're ninja now, stop being so childish. He then slams his chopsticks down and leaves, as Shikamaru and Naruto as well as Choji follow him, and trying to calm him down, and Choji only did because finally he had a chance to actually hang out with his actual friends, and being in a team with two girls is not exactly fun for anyone. Now, as the four were walking away, Sakura and Ino will be contemplating what Sasuke just said. Now we cut back to Konohamaru. He would have just been running away from Ebisu, escaping a lesson when he bumped into someone. Now, as he falls, he looks up to see two people that scare him. What's the big idea, you shrimp? Team 7 would then turn a corner as they see Konohamaru being held up by his scarf by a purple face marked ninja. Naruto would move instantly as he grabs Konohamaru, putting him down before Kankuro could even react. What? When did you get here? Who are you? Asked Tamari. Naruto would then say, you should introduce yourself before asking for someone else's name. Why were you trying to assault the Hokage's grandson? Kankuro and Tamari would then be shocked to learn this as Tamari calls Kankuro an idiot and they start bickering. Now, as they are, Konohamaru will be looking up at Naruto, thinking that what he did was really cool. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Now, Team 7 and Choji would then approach up from behind Naruto, as Sasuke then asks who the two, were. Tamari would then think, whoa, the blonde one and the dark-haired kid are actually pretty good looking. She would then say they're from the sand, and this is when Gaara would land down with everyone except Naruto, not even knowing he was there the entire time. What are you two doing, causing such a ruckus? Oh, nothing, we were just... As he says this, Kankuro will be death stared by Gaara as he shuts up, and everyone can feel the bloodlust emanating off of this kid, and quite a lot of it at that. Gaara would then set his eyes on Naruto, asking what his name was. Like you heard me say, you should introduce yourself first, especially since your friends here caused such a mess. Gaara would then smirk, scaring Tamari and Kankuro because they thought he was going to go crazy a little bit, and then he says that he's Gaara of the Sand, and Naruto says he's Naruto Uzumaki of the Leaf. Hearing this, Gaara would then turn around, leaving as Kankuro and Tamari followed him, and Choji would ask, what's up with that guy? Anybody else feel that? Yeah, it's like if I moved, I would die, says Shikamaru, just like when we met Zabuza and Haku. Naruto would then help Konohamaru, telling him to be more careful from now on with a big smile. Konohamaru would then nod, saying yes and thank you as he then left. And then he called Naruto Big Bro. Big Bro? What's that about? Wonders Naruto. Anyway, you guys want to train together? What kind of training? Asks Sasuke. Naruto would then smile as we cut to Choji, Shikamaru, and Sasuke facing Naruto's shadow clones. Naruto, standing behind everyone, would then say that once you get used to a certain percentage of my speed, my clones will attack fast, but only with taijutsu. I did always wonder how it would be to fight you, but I don't want to punch my friend, says Choji. You really think you'll be able to? Asks Shikamaru. Choji would then laugh, saying, actually, you're right. Naruto's a freaking speed demon. Sasuke would then attack, throwing a kunai at the Naruto clone, which would then catch it, between its index and middle finger, and it throws it back at Sasuke, who gets a cut on his cheek. But regardless, Sasuke just runs forward as he engages in a taijutsu battle with Naruto. Shikamaru and Choji would then do the same as they pull out all the stops, but nothing is hitting the Naruto clones. Now, Asuma and Kakashi were looking for their teams to train, would actually find them at the training grounds, fighting Naruto's shadow clones. Meanwhile, Naruto was practicing one of his special jutsus. The two captains would then be in trees watching all of this when Naruto actually appears behind them, tapping them as they get surprised, pulling out kunais to hit him, but there was nothing behind them. I'm down here, yells Naruto, but you would then look down in shock as they would land down and see that the one that they're actually looking at far ahead is just a shadow clone. You weren't kidding when you said he was a speed demon, says Asuma. Naruto would then say, why does everyone give me weird names based on my speed? What's your clone doing? Asks Kakashi, being interested. Oh, that's my lightning's edge, says Naruto. They would then watch as the clone's hands are just covered in lightning, which then takes forms of actual blades around his hands, and then the clone just rushes forward, slashing right in front of the forest. But then nothing happens when all of a sudden more than 10 trees get cut down and lightning crackles off them. Wow, you could kill somebody with that. How does it have so much range? Naruto would then say, I added a bit of wind to it since it's my natural second element. It's like what my Chidori could be like at its best. No, thinks Kakashi. Wait, Naruto, is this your best lightning jutsu? There's one more I made way stronger than this one. I call it Lightning Storm. Anyway, I'm gonna go check on the guys if you don't mind. Yeah, later, kid, says Asuma. Now, as Naruto leaves, Asuma would say this year's training exams is going to be quite interesting. So a week would pass as Sasuke unlocked his Tutomoe. Yes, I am taking it that far. Naruto only got faster and faster, which forced everyone to get stronger. Because when they tried to avoid Naruto, they would always be hit. But this time when they were hit, it would actually hurt way more. And Sasuke was frustrated by this, and this anger made him get his new eyes. Shikamaru got even better at taijutsu when using traps because he was smart from the beginning, and it was the only way to somewhat even match Naruto. Now, Choji is a different case because Naruto knows all about Choji, and to make him stronger, he insulted him a lot while they fought, which hurt more because Naruto was actually one of Choji's best friends. But it paid off, as not only did Choji get better at partial expansion just by instinct to beat Naruto, but he reached the first stage of the butterfly mode without a food pill. He can now hold this transformation for about 5 minutes. And aside from that, just like Sasuke and Shikamaru, his skill in taijutsu has increased like tenfold. And Ino got some help from her father as Sakura asked Kurenai for help so she could learn Genjutsu. They also tried to stop bickering because Sasuke is right, they're actually doing missions now. The fighting honestly is just petty at this point, and they're doing it all over a boy. Choji's life could end because these two dumbasses are arguing over a boy. So yeah, we switched to the day of the exam starting, and Team 7 would be walking into the designated building, and they march forward into it, and they see a crowd of kids in front of a door. What's going on, wonders Shikamaru. Why don't we get closer and find out, says Sasuke sarcastically. Shikamaru would then call him cheeky as the team would then close in, and as they are, Naruto would just close his eyes, connecting to the hundreds of shadow clones he's laid out everywhere in this entire area, and nothing bad's happened yet. He would then open his eyes to see a kid with a bob haircut about to be kicked by 2 Chunin in transformation jutsu. I know this is an exam, but take it easy, will ya, says Naruto. He then enters flash time, passing through the crowds of students in front of him, as he then catches the kicks about to kick Lee. Time would then resume as everyone is shocked to see him appear out of nowhere. Then Naruto would surge lightning through the body of the Chunin, shocking them as they pass out. Their transformation would then end as they fall to the ground and, they prove back to normal, and they're actually foaming at the mouth. This means that the Genjutsu disappears as everyone finds out they're actually on the 2nd floor, not the 3rd. Shikamaru and Sasuke would then walk up to Naruto as they thank him for taking care of that, and Neji would then ask, out of nowhere, what's your name? I think he means you, Naruto, says Shikamaru. Naruto would then say, oh, well, you should introduce yourself first. I am your senior, Tenten would then cut in saying, what? That's not... Wait, blue eyes, blonde hair, whisker marks, super fast? You were that kid that graduated from the academy a long time ago. Oh, am I famous or something? Neji would then say, so you're Naruto. I hope we meet again. Naruto would then say sure to Neji, and he and his team would just leave as they head to where they need to go. But as they are, and they're trying to find their door, the bob haircut kid would then tell his team to, tell his team to just wait for them because he has to do something. Now, as Team 7 was going on their own way, they would then hear Lee yell, hey you, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto would then turn around as Lee lands down in front of them and he asks for a fight. Naruto would then go to say something, but then Sasuke says he wants to deal with this. I only wish to fight Naruto, not you. Sasuke would then instantly appear behind Lee saying, well, too bad. He would then sweep kick Lee, but Lee jumps up and he backflips as he slams a kick down at Sasuke. Sasuke, however, would then block this hit, and then he throws a punch at Lee, making him dodge once again. They would then just be going back and forth. Sasuke activates his Tutomoe, and they're actually on par. It feels so natural, thinks Sasuke. Usually when Naruto goes for a hit, he never misses. In comparison, this guy just doesn't match up. But he's really good though. They would just keep exchanging blows, and half the time Sasuke isn't reacting because of his Sharingan. It's based on instinct because, he's just learned to do that with Naruto, and it's a very impressive fight. Sasuke has not only learned to control his chakra better as well, but now he knows how to enhance himself with this, so he's keeping up pretty well. They would then clash one last time before jumping away from each other, and Lee is humongously impressed. I underestimated you. I apologize. Now I will show you my true power. He would then take off his weights, letting them fall as they break the ground, and when they do this makes Lee get surrounded by a huge dust cloud. Something would then disperse the dust cloud as Lee just appears above Sasuke, who barely manages to keep up. He almost gets kicked on the head when all of a sudden, Lee's leg is just stopped, and Naruto is right behind Sasuke, holding it up. I think that's quite enough. We're gonna be late after all. Lee would then backflip and land, getting cautious. How did he do that? You just don't know he's there until he lets you know. Naruto, you are quite the shinobi. He would then thank Sasuke for the fight, but next time he really does want to fight Naruto, and he says this as he puts his weights back on and then he leaves to go meet up with his team. Damn it, yells Sasuke. Naruto then gives him a hand saying, don't worry, you would have dodged it, it's just that we really are late, You've been fighting for quite a while. Sasuke would then sigh as he gets up saying it's fine, so they go to the room they need to go to, and after a few challenges, they enter the room they need to go. So as they enter, it's full of students, including Team 10, as Choji came up and said hi to them, and for one, Sakura and Ino did not run as Sasuke as they're resisting their fangirl urges. The room would then be quite rowdy as Naruto just goes to sit down, and he meets Hinata again after all this time. Now, as he does, we would then see Kabuto talking about everyone's power, power levels, and who people need to be most afraid of. Apparently, he had info on the most dangerous guys, and out of interest, Shikamaru asked, "Ever heard of Naruto Uzumaki?" Kabuto would then pull up Naruto's info, which shows that above all, Naruto is pretty mysterious, but one thing's for sure, he will not lose to anyone, because Naruto's academy grades and high level of taijutsu are rumored to be higher than Minato and Itachi and Kakashi's combined. Everyone in this room should be worried, don't you think, Naruto? Asked Kabuto as he would then look at Naruto, and everyone then stares at him, and they all notice him being here, and they're kinda scared. But Naruto only smiles, which only scares everyone even more. Will I ever catch up to him, thinks Sasuke? So Ibiki and his group would then appear telling everyone to sit down, and they do as his assistants pass out the papers for the next test. Now, when the test starts, the first test. So when the test starts, Naruto answers everything with perfect accuracy as he finishes everything under 30 minutes. He actually finished it in under 3 minutes, he just didn't want to stand out too much. Now, by the time he's finished, he would just close his eyes and check on his clones. Now, one of his clones would be meeting up with Anko and some genin who were actually attacked while trying to enter the test. Anko and the Naruto clone would then be talking as she asks, "Did you get a look at the perpetrator?" The clone says nothing as it pulls out a piece of paper and a pencil. He would then instantly just draw something as he shoves the paper in Anko's face, and what she saw shocked her. No, not him, not now. She would then grip her shoulder, sweating heavily as she felt nervous. However, the Naruto clone would then take off its Anbu mask as it smiled, and Anko smiled as well because this kid looks really awesome. And Naruto says, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." The clone then disappeared as Anko would have a bit of blush all over her face. She was turning red, and she would be thinking, since when did Lord Hiruzen let someone with a face like that in the Anbu? Luckily, the genin were okay, and Naruto saved them, but they quit the exams due to the attempted murder on them. So we cut back to Naruto as he chuckles a bit, and Ibiki would then ask what was so funny. "Oh, nothing, sorry to disturb." Ibiki would then say alright as he actually approached Naruto and looked at his sheets, getting wide-eyed. Correct? There's not a single one wrong. So it's true. Another one. Everyone saw his face of shock just for a moment, but he said nothing else and just walked away. Slowly, everyone else would pass. Some would get disqualified, like in the original, and those like Shikamaru, Sasuke would do well quite easily, figuring out what the actual motif of the test is. The same goes with Sakura and Ino. Now, eventually the test would be over, and Choji passes as well. I'm not, passing over Choji. He already trained with Naruto, so it's already expected he's stronger and better in certain areas. So when the test would be over, Ibiki would give a little speech, but then everyone would just see someone burst through the window, making all of them get on guard. But it only turned out to be a supervisor for their toughest test yet. "Alright, let's go," yells Anko. Ibiki would then tell her she's a bit early, which is kind of embarrassing for her. This is when she would see Naruto and realize what's going on, and is kind of impressed. This kid's basically a double agent. Being a Nambu seems like such a waste. She would then lead everyone out of the classroom as they go to the forest. Now, as they stand in front of this forest, they would see how terrifying this next part of the test was gonna be, because you were never, no one in the village actually kind of knows it existed. It's kind of just not mentioned, which is what's so scary about it. Uncle would then say, "To be honest, by the time this test is over, I assume half of you will be definitely dead, so don't take this lightly. This is the Forest of Death." Pretty edgy name. "I just really want to go home," says Shikamaru. Naruto would then laugh at this as Uncle gets everyone to sign waivers, and in case they get hurt or die, and this makes everyone only realize more and more how dangerous this actually is going to be. Now, each team is given one scroll, which are the Heaven Scroll and the Earth Scroll. Half of the 78 people will get the Heaven Scroll, and the others will get the Earth Scroll. Now, as each team gets the scrolls they need, Naruto memorizes which team gets what scroll exactly, and decides to make a shadow clone to keep an eye on one of them after they enter the forest. Sasuke would then head in first as he gets the scroll for his team, saying, "Come on guys, you have to hurry in." "He's more ready for this than I thought he'd be," says Shikamaru. It's probably because of that small little match," says Naruto. So the Team 7 would then head in, and so would the other 75 other applicants. And now we're gonna switch to Team 7 when they're about only 5 minutes in. Naruto will be focusing on making a shadow clone appear as it hides its presence and chases down the team Naruto had his eyes on. So the team would move until about 5 hours passed, and then they would take a break. They would then sit in a circle being vigilant of their surroundings when Naruto would take out a scroll. What's that for? Asked Shikamaru. Naruto would then summon something out of his scroll, and it appears like, 6 little black contraptions. Naruto would then give Sasuke and Shikamaru 2 each, and tell them to put them in their ears. So, are you gonna tell us? He would then be caught off, as this is when Sasuke would hear what Shikamaru said, and it freaks him out for a moment as he takes them off, and he seriously asks what these things are. I made them over the week. They'll help us communicate better as a team. There's already versions of this used by ninja, but those are special. Naruto, this is kind of revolutionary. You made it yourself? What's the range? Anywhere on Earth, says Naruto, as long as you can input a certain amount of chakra. You can connect to literally anyone. Dude, are you sure you should be giving this to us? Asked Shikamaru. We're a team, so what's the harm, right? Says Naruto. Get up, we're about to leave. But for now, give me those, they'll be safe with me. Now, out of nowhere, as he says this, Naruto clone would appear and hand Naruto a heaven scroll. What the hell did you... I just give up, says Sasuke. Naruto would then receive the scroll as the clone just poofs, and Naruto grabs Shikamaru and Sasuke as they leave the forest in under 5 seconds. Now, as they arrive, nobody is there at all, and they are the first to arrive with both scrolls. They all then look up to see a sign on the wall, but the wall seems to be missing some words. So they figure out the wall must want them to open the scrolls by now, and as they do, out comes a puff of smoke, and they just release the summoning jutsu. Now, being on guard, they throw the scrolls on the ground, only for Iruka-sensei to come out. Now, Iruka, in a daze and being confused as to what is happening, would ask, What is going on here? You're here already? That's definitely a new record. How long ago did you start the test? About 5 hours, answers Shikamaru. 5 hours? Iruka would then pass out as Naruto catches him quickly, saying, I think it was too much for him to handle. Wait a second. He would then slightly shock Iruka on the forehead, waking him up as he starts to fully understand what's going on. Well, you passed. Good job, you three. He would then explain what the words on the wall represents, and it's just like kind of a motto for ninja, you gotta be good in mind and body. You have to be, you have to steel yourself. Iruka would then explain all of this and lead T7 to the rooms where they will be waiting until about the next 5 days until the other participants arrive. Now we're gonna cut to the next day as Naruto would get out of his private room early in the day. Apparently one of his clones was chasing down quite a dangerous enemy. We then switch to Iruka's viewpoint as he's standing in front of Hiruzen and Anko, as well as 2 guard Jonins. That little brat really finished in under 6 hours with both scrolls. Why is he still an Anbu? Asked Anko. Hiruzen would then say making him a Jonin would mean having to reveal him to the world, and I don't think it's time for that yet. Now as he says this, a shadow clone would appear behind everyone as it bows, saying, I've encountered Orochimaru, my lord. What should I do with him? Anko would then get angsty as she would go to say something, but Hiruzen would raise his hand as she calms down and sits down. Bring him alive if possible, but if you cannot, kill him. The clone would then poof as we cut to one of the other clones fighting Orochimaru. He would then throw a kick only to get hit in the jaw, Orochimaru I mean, and he would stumble back as Naruto would then raise his foot, and in an instant Orochimaru's body is just filled with 10 and thousands of holes, and he would be in shock. Whoever you are, you're too dangerous, thinks Orochimaru. He would then start to slowly regenerate, but Naruto would quickly, and I mean he enters flash time quick, and he would pull out a scroll, which had some weird markings written on it as he would start reciting these words, and his hands are sparked with electricity. Orochimaru is so confused with what's going on, he doesn't want to stick around to find out what's going on. He would then try to regurgitate himself, but the new body fries up, and he just stuck in his old one, unable to move, the one that's battered and filled with holes. How are you doing this? Who the hell are you? He would then fall down as Naruto, however, would say nothing as he grabs Orochimaru, and he runs to where Hiruzen is, arriving there instantly. Now while the clone is doing this though, Naruto is being given tons of food to eat, and this was made known to the people who made food for them. Naruto needed to consume a certain amount of calories for his jutsu. It's kind of like the Akamichi clan. I don't know if that was Choji's clan, I'm sorry. I really don't remember all the names, but Choji's clan. He's kind of like Choji's clans. So as Team 7 would wait for the other teams to arrive, they still train a little bit until they are called to meet their captains and the Hokage and the others. Now, standing in a wide area, all the participants left would be looking at their captains and Hiruzen would start to talk. About only 7 out of 27 teams passed, and now they were set to fight because apparently there was an expectation that there would be less teams, actually, more than there are right now, meaning they're actually pretty good ninja. However, as they're about to fight, Kabuto just gives up out of nowhere, and he goes to leave, and they allow it. Smart move, thinks Naruto, but you're still fucked either way. Now, as Kabuto would leave, he would meet up with his accomplices in secret. Kabuto would meet 3 people in an alleyway of the village, when all of a sudden, Kabuto and his accomplices would just fall as their knees roll up into their sockets. Naruto would then look down at them as he appears out of nowhere, and he picks them all up and puts them in cells and seals their powers or whatever. And he lets the original Naruto take care of the rest when the exams are over. Now back at the training exam, Sasuke would be facing Yoroi, and with ease he destroys him under 5 minutes, and he impresses everyone, showing off that he has 2 Tomoe now. When Yoroi leaves, Naruto also captures him. Every bad guy in this, like when they leave, Naruto's gonna capture them all. Now next is Shino versus Zaku, and Shino wins, but it takes longer this time. Then it's Misumi versus Kankuro, and Kankuro wins, and it's Sakura versus Ino. And this time, instead of a horrible taijutsu fight, they would actually show off their skills and ability to manipulate chakra. Ino would actually catch Sakura in her mind transfer jutsu quite a few times, but in the end, Sakura would catch Ino in a genjutsu that paralyzes her, allowing Sakura to like put her hands in her fucking stomach, and it is filled with chakra, and this sends Ino flying 10 feet away. This actually makes Ino get knocked out because she's not much of a combatant, and Sakura wins. Now this upset was very upsetting for Ino when she eventually woke up, but while Tenten and Temari were fighting, they would just shake on it. Temari would of course win her match, and next up was Shikamaru versus Kin, and Shikamaru would win with ease under 4 minutes, as he has just gotten smarter and smarter and fucking stronger, and Shikamaru can adapt very quick, so yeah. Now after he wins, next up is Naruto, and he jumps down from where he's watching, giving his team a thumbs up. Skiba would then jump down as well, and they meet in the middle of the arena. Alright, let the next fight commence, says the proctor. Now as soon as the proctor says this, Kiba wastes no time in rushing at Naruto. I can't let him make a move, not even... Naruto would then instantly appear in front of Kiba, just punching him just in the face, and he is sent skipping across the ground as he slams into a wall, breaking it. Even with my Byakugan I can't keep up, thinks Neji. Naruto would then look and see Akamaru, who is running at him, and he is turning red as he transforms into Kiba, and in a savage way he rushes at Naruto. However, as he goes to clout Naruto, Naruto just simply twists his torso, and Akamaru misses, and he touches him on the head and sends a few jolts of lightning into it. Now as time resumes, Akamaru simply just loses consciousness and falls to the ground, skipping a bit before stopping, and he goes back to normal, poofing back to his dog form. What just happened? Thinks the proctor. Naruto Uzumaki wins. Everyone would then be stunted but would clap as he goes back to the stands. And then next up would be Hinata. She prepares to go down and she's nervous, so Naruto approaches her saying, Hinata, no matter what happens, don't stop if you're in danger. I'll save you, so pull out all the stops, alright? She would then nod, turning red as she goes down, and Neji would already be taunting her, analyzing all her movements and using it to make her feel small and insecure. The fight would then commence soon, and as usual, Hinata does lose in the same way, but when she refuses to go down with her final stand and Neji goes to, hit her one last time, she would create a rotation, but not a normal and natural rotation. This rotation would actually catch and cushion Neji's palm strike, surprising him just as Hinata would then slam a palm strike in his face, sending him back a bit. Everyone would be surprised by this, especially Neji, who was actually bleeding from his nose at this point. However, as he went to attack, he then saw Hinata starting to fall after that attack, and Hinata would then be caught by Naruto in an instant as he tells her that she did a good job, and the proctor calls the match, declaring Neji the winner. I'll take her to the infirmary, says Naruto. We then start walking away, leaving Neji in disarray. What was that technique, thinks Neji. This guy might be an issue, right, whispers Temari. He's just fast, says Gaara. Don't speak on my behalf, sister. You can't beat me. So next up would be Lee versus Gaara, and Naruto would return in time to see this play out, and he would walk up to his teammates and sees Choji talking to them. So who's winning, guys? Asks Naruto. It's definitely Lee. That guy's really good. He would then munch on his chips like Choji usually does, as they would keep watching the fight, and things would get critical as Lee unleashes the gates to the forefront, but he actually only loses the fight a little bit. Well, he hasn't lost yet, but he ruins his body, even though he does kind of beat Gaara. So they're both left on the ground after having given it their all, but then Gaara would point at Lee as he makes his sand wrap around his leg and arm. Sand coffin. Before anyone can even move, Lee is already gone from sight as Naruto pulled him a few feet away. It's safe to say this fight is finished, right? Lee, can you stand? Lee would then try to, but realizes he can't as Naruto catches him again, saying, I cannot, I forfeit. Gaara would then just get enraged that he couldn't fully destroy his opponent, but Naruto senses his intent and stares back at him, accidentally leaking out some of Kurama's chakra for the first time. Stand down, Gaara. It's over. The Sand Ninja would then grit his teeth as he teleports back to his siblings, and the proctor names him the winner. However, Lee is disappointed, and he would have Guy land in front of him as he offers to take him to the infirmary instead. Naruto would then hand Lee over, saying, it's nothing horrible, he should be able to walk in a few days. By the way, that was a fantastic fight. When you get out, you and I should have a go. Lee would then smile, nodding as he definitely wants to, and Guy carries him away as the crowd cheers for him. Because that was by far the best fight, and we all gotta agree. Again, even to this day, that was an awesome fight, like legendary. So the final fight would then be Choji and Dosu. And Sakura as well as Ino would tell him not to lose and to do his utmost best. And so the fight begins between Choji and Dosu. And this will monumentally be different. Choji in this fight would take about 50 minutes, with Choji winning in the end, as he unveils his butterfly mode, and he has way more stamina now, so he's able to fight longer. The sound waves from Dosu were troublesome at first, but he pushed through it using his partial expansion jutsu and his pure will. And this ends with Dosu being mad, as his entire team basically lost, so now they're gonna leave. But as they do, they are intercepted and put in jail by Naruto's clones. That would mark the end of the Chunin exams for now, as when Choji returns to the stands, he was super skinny, kind of surprising and freaking everyone out a little bit, and he was a little tired too. He would then look to see, Team 7 as he puts a thumbs up, and they do the same. And now we're going to switch to when Naruto is just walking through the streets of Konoha alone. For now, the exams are over. I captured all the suspicious characters, and everyone's off to train. What sucks is, I'm completely bored. He would then start walking around, still getting looks from people when it kind of reminds him of his young days. Some things never change. Saying this, he would then jump into the air and he lands on the rooftops as he starts just running at a normal pace. Well, to him it's natural, but right now he looks like a freaking blur to other people. Now as he runs on the tiles, he proceeds to run out of the village with no one being able to notice. Now while he's doing this, Shikamaru would be at home playing against his dad as Shogi, and Choji is practicing jutsus with his dad, and Sasuke is trying to fully master his Tutomoe so he can reach a new level. Now that Naruto is working behind the scenes, how will things change in the final parts of the exams? What was that strange technique that Naruto used to seal Orochimaru's movements? And how did Naruto build those new communicating devices? All will be revealed in the upcoming parts, because this is where I'm leaving it off. Welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed. I was really happy to actually, record this. It was super easy too. I felt more comfortable. And seriously, I am loving summer more and more. The next one will be what if Asta was a player. And by the way, yes, I'm doing a Danmachi what if after so long. And for those who will be asking, or there's one person who asked, will there ever be a Attack on Titan what if? Yes, there will be, because honestly, I've always wanted to do one, and the only what if of Eren I've actually ever liked was one on Izukage's channel called What If Eren Was His Reincarnation. It was so good, but then, Izukage hasn't continued it yet because he's waiting for the series to just end so he can, go through it easy. And I really wish he would get to it, but if he's not going to yet, then I might as well just get a head start. And also, I want to see what it would be like if Bell was a speedster. But give me your idea. I was thinking of this. Should I make Wally the fastest speedster right now, currently? Just somehow end up in Danmachi's world as a god. Yes, he's basically a god, alright? The strongest god, an unknown kind of strongest god. And he somehow gets Bell because he did mate with a human. Even though he was a god, he's still human at heart. And should I just make Bell be struck by lightning and the Speed Force chooses him? Or should I make the Speed Force a skill for him, and an unknown skill for him that does not exist in his world? You guys can choose what you want. Eventually I will do it, but I have to finish, what if Asta was a player, and what if Naruto was a speedster first. What if Asta was a player would definitely finish first, but I know you guys will enjoy the next part. Thank you for always watching. The Discord link is always down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And share with anybody else who might like what ifs, and turn on the notification bell. And hit that like button. I never say that enough. Hit that like button. Please do that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.